The devil came on horseback. He rode through the town, through the village, killing, burning, murdering people. The devil was a group of people called the Janjaweed. This happened in Darfur, in the Sudan. This is not a very cheerful topic, but I think it's a relevant topic because it seems to be happening over and over again, and that's the issue of genocide. Quisenberry quote says, "The future is like the present, only longer." I think the reason he said that is because things like genocide continue happening over and over again. There's 4 reasons why genocide continues to happen. Hopefully it won't happen much longer, but there are 4 reasons. The first reason is agricultural, people who want to invest in agriculture. It sounds strange, but it's true. Over and over again, if you read the history, you'll find that people who engage in genocide will say, we need more living space, we need more agriculture. These people that we're getting rid of don't engage in agriculture, so therefore they're useless. So that's one of the reasons why. Second reason why genocide occurs is because of a cult of antiquity, which means that some governments fetishize ancient cultures who engaged in genocide. We even do it a little bit ourselves. You know, we look up to the ancient Romans, and they were pretty vicious. You know, they wiped out Carthage. I mean, they just totally destroyed that place. There was nothing left there, and then they burned it. But somehow we look up to them and we study them. Third cause of genocide is fear of contamination, where people don't like to mix with other quote-unquote races, even though the idea of race is actually a social construct, and there is no biological basis in that. But somehow, these rules of race we seem to follow and continue, even though I didn't make that up, you guys didn't make that up, but somehow we're in this track, you know, kind of stuck, if we want to be, that is. And so that idea of fear of contamination brought about, you know, the Armenian genocide at the turn of the last century, and of course everyone is familiar with Nazism, and there's even things going on today in different countries where people are being murdered, wiped out, and removed from their homes for living space, which brings me to my 4th reason, and that is territorial. Living space, Lebensraum, as the Nazis called it. Even here in this country, it was referred to as, you know, manifest destiny, where whole groups of families were just totally wiped out for, you know, to have their living space. So because of these 4 reasons, this quote that the present is going to continue on and on was made. I don't know the cure for this, but I believe that with more study, we can figure out ways to kind of stop these symptoms, if you will, of genocide before they get any worse and are actually manifested with people being killed and losing their lives.
All right, you've got a dramatic visualization in the intro to pull us in on the subject. You kind of clarify what the subject is. You make an okay interpretation of the quote, and I think that that's reasonable. You've got something that you want to talk about, and you found a way to kind of adapt it to this particular subject, and it works pretty well. You start to offer a preview, but really what you do is you get involved in talking about your first subject. And so there's not really a preview, but the supporting points are structured very clearly, and they're easy to follow. You do a good job indicating transitions between those points, so I don't see any major issues there with organizational things. Just I think a preview would be a little bit more extensive and would help a little bit more. You use your voice effectively, but you do need to have a little bit more energy and emphasis in a couple of places. Sometimes it sounds a little tired and weary instead of engaged and forceful, and you want to have, I think, a little more power in your presentation. The material that you develop is pretty reasonable, although I thought on that third point you seem to be bouncing around on several different directions, but overall you had a lot of ideas that you're talking about. You're paying attention clearly in some of your classes, so you've got some illustrations that you can plug in there, and that works pretty well. I like the way that you kind of connect the quote again to your the content that you had toward the end, and I think that helps kind of pull things together a little bit. You have very good audience contact. Sometimes maybe a little bit of anxiety in the way you're shifting your weight from foot to foot. It seemed a little bit more excessive than necessary. Nothing too obvious, but maybe when you watch it back, you'll see a little bit of just a lack of comfort. Instead of the movement being a part of your speech, it seems a little bit outside of the speaking situation, and that's a minor criticism. Most of what you did was fine. All right, thank you.